me already. Yes, I am talking to you. You aren't consistent enough.
'Cause you're so strong. I wanna be so strong. I wanna be just like you. I wanna be just like you. When I grow old. When I grow old.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Becoming Brittany podcast. What's up, y'all? It's your host and your girl, Brittany Morton, and as always, I am so excited that you are tuning in to another episode. So are y'all ready to jump in? We are talking today about, y'all ready? We're talking about consistency, y'all. That's right, consistency. Because truth be told, if I took a poll from everybody who's either listening to me or watching me right now, all of us are probably not as consistent as what we would like to be. And what I've learned, for those of you who know, my background is in branding and marketing and nonprofit organizational structures and building and all that type of stuff. But what I have learned in my almost 20 years of experience in doing what I do is that anything great that's going to happen is not going to be an overnight success. And I know that we live right now in the world of social media and it just seems like, success just happens overnight. But I'm learning that true success and true longevity happens with a thing that requires consistency, okay? And so today I want to talk about that because I know that people are listening to me and watching me today that has some pretty amazing gifts, some pretty amazing testimonies, and also some greatness on the inside of you. And I know if you're anything like me, oftentimes I have found myself so frustrated because it's like I know where I can go and where I see myself going, but I have a hard time trying to get there, okay? And what I'm realizing, particularly in this season of my life, y'all, because this is probably one of the most uncomfortable and stretching seasons I am in. I am kicking and screaming every single day and getting up and doing what I need to do, that it is going to require another level of consistency that I have never given before in order to reach my goals, all right? So today I want to talk about it. First, I want you to admit if you know you need to be more consistent. I want you to admit if you're saying, Brittany, I already know, I'm probably going to click off of this because you talking to me already. Yes, I am talking to you. You aren't consistent enough. For some of you who have been saying, I just don't know why certain things aren't happening, it's because it's going to require you to not only do a thing, but stay with it long enough so that you can produce the results that you are looking for. So I want to give you a few things today that's going to help you in your consistency. This doesn't matter if you're being consistent with a relationship, consistent in your career, in a business or a brand that you're building. We all need a level of consistency. So number one, this is what I want to encourage you to do. You got to get a vision, okay? If I was sitting down one-on-one with you and you're telling me that you're not as consistent and there's breakdowns in your desires and the life you know you want and where you are right now, one of the things I'm going to ask you is, what are you trying to do and where are you trying to go? What are you trying to do and where are you trying to go? What I've realized as I have managed people over the last 15 years of my life is that a lot of times when you start to ask someone questions, it's hard for them to give you an answer. A lot of times you get a lot of ambiguity, I'm kind of this and kind of that. I'm realizing that it's going to be really hard for me to get to a certain destination if I don't know the address to that destination. Now, this is what tricks us up because many times we're trying to focus on the directions when God is saying, I need you to focus on the destination and trust me with how I'm going to get you there. One of the analogies I use often is a GPS, right? You can put, hey, I want to go to Walmart or go to Target in my GPS. It's going to give me a couple of ways to get there. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get to my destination if I follow that path. Many times that's what happens in our life, but we don't take time enough to get clear enough about where it is that we want to go. So again, I want to ask you this question. What do you want to do and where do you want to go? Now, some of you may be like where I've been for the last 10 years of my life, and I didn't really have a full answer to that question because I've always been a multi-talented person. And when I graduated from college, y'all, I got my first job and I ain't like it, child. I thought my whole life was over, okay? So I've been on this journey of discovering, those things. But it doesn't have to be a lifelong answer, but I want you to create the next 5 years or the next year. Where do you see yourself? What do you see? Matter of fact, let's do this right now. If you're not driving, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to envision yourself 5 years from now or 2 years from now. I want you to envision, where are you? What are you doing? Who is around you? Where are you going? What's making you smile? Okay? I want you to envision that. And then I want you to open up your eyes and I want you to write that down. Because if you've been struggling about the what and the where, when you close your eyes and you see yourself in the future of what you want your life to look like, that is your vision. So the next part of that, once you've identified what your vision is, your goals are how you accomplish that vision. How the vision for your life is going to be fulfilled is by the goals that you set. Now, if you have not created some goals for yourself, sis, bro, what you doing? I want you to take some time and write down some goals. Now, what I've had to learn is that goals are nothing but individual action items that I need to do daily to get me towards the mark. See, this is the issue. I'm about to get on my soapbox a little bit because you're on my podcast. So this is what issue that we often find ourselves coming into, right? Many of us aren't living at the level of intentionality that we need to live at. Success and your dreams are not just going to happen. I wish that we could just, wave a magic wand and you a millionaire, or you got the followers, or you've been able to take care of your family the way you desire to. But that's not going to happen, okay? The only way you're going to get to that place where you see yourself 5 years from now is if you start to make steps and decisions each and every day that's going to lead you there. So let me say this. You don't have a whole lot of time to be scrolling on social media all day. Why? Because you have somewhere you're trying to go. You ain't got time to be entertaining a whole bunch of gossip and negative energy and trying to connect yourself with people that you know not good for you, that every time you leave them, you drained all the time because you have somewhere to go. It is what you choose to do every single day, the small decisions that are going to get you to that big place that you're looking to go to, okay? So I want to encourage you to get intentional about your life. Stop making excuses or stop making apologies for where you're trying to go and what it's going to require for you to get there. Right now, I don't have a lot of extra time to hang out because there's a place that I'm trying to get to. There's a life that I want to live. There are 2 parentals by the name of James and Penny Morton that I am their retirement plan. Do y'all see what I'm saying? So that means I got to be set up enough not only for me to live comfortably, but I want to make sure that my family lives comfortably. And that's going to require a level of focus and intentionality that a lot of people may not understand right now, and that's okay. So get that vision, get your goals, and start being more intentional every day, and that's going to help you to be more consistent, okay? Here goes your next point. Acknowledge your feelings, but choose not to live there. Acknowledge your feelings, but you can't live in how you feel. Because one of the greatest enemies that's going to come against your consistency is how you feel day to day. How many times do you wake up, the day before you say, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z tomorrow. You didn't write it down, child. You just said it in your head, and you know how that go. You got to write stuff down. But anyway, you say, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z tomorrow. And you wake up and it's raining. Or you wake up and you're not feeling your best. And the very thing you just promised yourself, you're no longer doing it because I don't feel like it. You are not going to be able to be consistent and reach that place we just envisioned if you're always banking everything based off how you feel. Now, your feelings are important. That's why I say acknowledge your feelings, but you can't choose to live in your feelings. I.e., an example. Y'all, I've had a hell of a day today. Okay? I had a meeting this morning, cried my eyes out at the meeting. It was a good meeting. I'm on the way here. Traffic is backed up. I'm late. I don't want to be late. I get a phone call at my job. The pipes are busting. I'm on the phone. I got my little cousin trying to take notes for me. I'm still trying to get here. I'm trying to let them know. It's just been a day. And everything in me wanted to say, you know what? I'm just going to go home and try again tomorrow. However, there's a vision that's before me. And I've realized that in order for me to get there, the moments when I want to turn around, the moments where I want to give up, the moments where I want to lean into how I feel and just wipe the rest of the day off, I'm not able to do that because there's a place I'm trying to get to. So I got here, I got myself together, and I'm recording this podcast. Why? Because my life is going to require a level of consistency in order for me to reach my goals. Acknowledge your feelings, but you can't stay in your feelings. A lot of what you want to do, a lot of what you're going to need to do, you're not going to want to do it in that moment, but you got to do it anyway. If you're taking notes and you listening to me right now, I just want you to put real big in your notes. Do it anyway. Stuff comes up, do it anyway. Things don't go the way you expected for them to go, do it anyway. People back out at the last minute, do it anyway. You don't have all the money, do it anyway. Do it anyway. And as you continue to do it, and be intentional about showing up regardless of what obstacle comes your way, you're going to see the results. Okay? Next point. Take a break and get back going. I believe one thing that has, in my life, I don't know about y'all, but one thing that you have to be careful of if you're always going, because we got two groups of people. You got some people, child, that ain't going nowhere. And you got other people that's going around in circles, but still ain't going nowhere. Okay. So, and then the rest of us is somewhere in the middle. Y'all feel me? So anyway, I say that to say, if you on the other side of it, if you're not the person that ain't going nowhere, that's on Netflix and chilling all day, if you're on the other side and you just can't nobody stop you, you all over the place, you got to be careful of burnout. You got to be careful to be sure that you are setting your schedule and your life up, right? Where you have time to breathe. This is something y'all I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, and I'm so excited about it. Because I had to realize that you can get to a place of burnout where you don't want to do nothing anymore. And you have to be careful of that. So I want to encourage you that on your journey to being more consistent, be proactive about your time off. Don't allow for you to get to a place where you in the red, you in the deficit, you got an attitude, everybody, and you just about to walk away from it all before you take a break. That's being irresponsible. What day of the week can you take some time to unplug? What do you need for your emotional, your mental well-being so you can step away and be inspired so that you can come back your work and kill it? Okay? So the next one is take a break and then keep going, then get back up and keep going. All right? My next one, 2 more points, is you need accountability. You need the right accountability. You don't need just the accountability where you hold other people accountable, but they don't hold you accountable. You need people in your life that aren't going to be jealous of your dreams. You need people in your life that's going to celebrate not only where you are, but where you are going. You need people in your life that's going to not be a people pleaser, not be a yes man, but call you out on your beep. There was I made that sound effect up. I hope y'all like that. So I'm trying to stop cussing. Amen. So you need people in your life that's going to be honest with you. Now, this is twofold. Because a lot of times we say that that's the people we want in our life. But you also got to be the person that can handle truth. If you the person can't nobody hold you accountable, then you may need to go work on this and then come back to this podcast. Okay, but I'm telling you, so it's twofold. So not only do you need that, but you got to become that. So then when it comes, you can receive that. Okay, so that's what you need in your life. And you don't get this. You don't have to have 15,000 people in your corner for you to be successful. Stop thinking you got to have all these people backing you in order for you to move forward with your dream. You can have that one person in your life that you don't even talk to often, but every time you talk to that person, something about that conversation makes you want to be your best self. That's who you got to surround yourself with. You got to surround yourself with people who won't let you settle. To say, you know what, Brittany, it's more in you. Yeah, I get that you're not feeling it today, but I remember 2 months ago, you told me this was your dream, so where you at on that? Where you at on the thing you told me that you were going to do? What progress are you making, and how can I support you in it? You have to have the right accountability, because y'all, this podcast right now, and I don't want to cry, but this podcast right now is a result of I got the right people in my life. I've been talking about doing this podcast for over 2 years and how my life set up, because it be so ghetto sometimes, the right time never came. But it was a conversation in a Kroger parking lot with one of my accountability partners one day that said, Brittany, where your podcast at? And I don't know what it was about that day, but I was like, you know what? I don't want the people in my life having to keep asking me year after year after year about the things I told them I was going to do that I'm not doing yet. And I made a decision that day while I was on the phone with her to look up this studio and to book my session. I'm telling you, you can't do this thing by yourself. You can't go on an island thinking you're going to do all of this stuff and not have the right support and accountability in your life to remind you of those things when it gets hard or when you get distracted or when you don't know what's next. It takes accountability. All right. Last thing of being consistent. I hope this is helping y'all. Last thing is you got to remember your why. You have to keep in front of you, why are you doing what you're doing? What is the ultimate goal? For me, it wasn't until I made my why personal is when I started to see progress. Y'all, that's so good. I'm dropping some jewels. I'm helping myself as I'm talking to y'all. When you begin to make it personal is when you're going to see progress. When you get out of the trying to prove other people wrong, when you get out of trying to live out somebody else's dream for your life, and you make this thing personal, that I owe it to myself, I owe it to my story, I've survived too much, I've overcome too much to sit on my potential and not go after everything that's in my heart. What is your why? What is it at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you want to be able to look back over your life and say, man, it was worth it. It was hard as hell, but man, it was worth it. Because I didn't lose sight of the reason why I started. You know why people get discouraged? You know why people get distracted? Because they lose sight of why they started. I don't want you to lose sight of why you started. I want you to remember what that thing was that was on your heart, or what that thing was when you decided you was going to, study this or start that business or start that family. I want you to remember that, because on the days when it's hard, on the days when you just don't feel like it, on the days when you're faced with obstacles, on the things where you're disappointed and you're discouraged and all of those things try to creep in, when you're reminded of why you started, it's going to be the thing that keeps you going. All right. So I hope that this episode has helped you. We're going to be consistent out here in these streets, okay? Because we got some things we got to accomplish. We got some lives that we got to change. Y'all, we got some communities that we got to impact. All of those things are going to happen as we start to be more consistent to carry out the visions, the goals, the dreams that we have before us, all right? So, again, this is the Becoming Brittany podcast. I'm enjoying this. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I can't wait until we do this again. Until the next episode. Oh, yeah, don't forget. I tell y'all all the time, I want your feedback. Let me know how these episodes are helping you. Let me know if I need to tweak something. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I'm just doing it. So y'all let me know so that I can continue to perfect this so that it can be what you need and more. So shoot me an email, podcast@BrittanyMorton.com for questions, any comments, anything, topics that you want me to talk about, any questions you want me to ask. Like, I really think, y'all, I want to start creating this like part of my podcast where I answer a question. I think that will be dope, on top of me adding my guests. So we're just building this thing together, and I'm inviting you to be a part of the process as I do it, okay? So again, you didn't hear nothing else today. I want you to make a commitment to be more consistent in every single area of your life. You got it. You can do it. You are doing it, and I'm so proud of you. Until the next episode, I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace out.